Hello, everybody. My name is Rich Carey, and I'd like to welcome you to yet another edition of StrateGEMS. Years ago, Nike coined a phrase that has become much more than a sports motto. According to many voices today, just do it seems to be the guiding value by which we're to live our daily lives. It's clear that over the past couple of decades, life has lost a measure of the intrinsic value it deserves. Marriage is becoming increasingly optional as people fall in love and simply shack up together, without the benefit of those pledges of faithfulness at the altar. Many people today consider having multiple sexual partners to be a normal and natural part of life. As a result, a large percentage of children now grow up without the benefit of having both a loving mother and father actively engaged in their life during their formative years. This has created a cycle of perpetual brokenness and poverty in the families of America. How did our society become like this in such a short time? While there are many factors involved, certainly we can point to the roles that the arts and entertainment industry and the education system have played in transforming our worldview and affecting how many of us define what is normal. Like the proverbial frog in the kettle, we've been systematically programmed through the entertainment industry and the public school system to accept unhealthy, destructive thinking and behavior as ordinary, natural, and normal. Evolution teaches that humans are nothing more than the top branch of the family tree in the animal kingdom. The logical conclusion of this belief means that it's perfectly natural for humans to behave like animals, acting on impulse or desire, without regard for any higher law. In fact, if evolution is true and survival of the fittest really is natural order, many of our human laws are actually contrary to the very laws of nature and thus should be abolished. The strongest humans should dominate the weakest, taking whatever they wish and thereby assuring the upward movement of the evolutionary process. Is this not what is behind so much of the violence and war we find recorded in man's history and in the headlines of today's news? But is man really just a highly evolved animal, bound to live out of uncontrollable urges and passions? The Bible paints a very different picture. In the creation story, we read that man was created to be separately and distinctly different from the animal kingdom. We read that man was created in the very image and likeness of God himself, and that he was given dominion over all the rest of creation. Man's task was to care for and tend the earth. Adam and Eve walked in intimate personal relationship with their Creator and lived in peace and harmony with the rest of creation. But the Bible records that man chose to ignore the commandment of God and to walk in independence from him. As a result of man's disobedience, death entered in, and man was no longer free, but became a slave to his lower carnal nature. Thus, man became like an animal, but this was contrary to what God had intended for him to be. However, God's great love for man would not allow him to abandon us in this fallen condition. In the fullness of time, he sent his Son Jesus Christ to pay the penalty of our sin and to restore to man the dominion and authority that was lost through Adam's disobedience. He provided a way for man to once again live in freedom, peace, and harmony with the rest of creation. By entering into a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, we receive not only the gift of eternal life, but the ability to live life to its fullness, pursuing our dreams with passion and great joy. And that, my friends, is God's will for your life. We'll see you next time right here on StrateGEMS.